Hi, my name is Shaunnie. I'm a dog groomer from Glasgow, and I wanted to talk about matting today. It is by far the biggest issue that my customers face, and I wanted to break it down so that we can understand what is going on and how can we stop it from happening in the future. If you are a pet parent who struggles with their dog's coat, I hope something in this video helps. So first, let's just get the definition of a mat out the way. A mat is a densely tangled lump of hair that usually contains dead coat, dead skin cells, dirt, debris, and sometimes foreign bodies such as burrs from plants, or I did see a video on TikTok where somebody pulled a fishing hook from one. So that's one to remember. So the first factor that I want to bring up is going to be our dry, damaged, and actually curly coats are kind of in this category as well. It's also to do with the structure of the hair and specifically the outer layer of each hair strand, the cuticle. If you look at it under the microscope, it is going to look kind of like scales that lie on top of each other. When the hair is nice and healthy, they lie flat, and when it's damaged and dry, it tends to lift off and it kind of acts like little Velcro hooks. So it'll attach itself to other hairs and onto kind of dirt and dander and things like that. Basically, all the things that are going to cause this to get worse. On our curly coats, it is going to, even on really healthy curly coats, on the inside tract, it's going to be fine. The inside of the curl is going to be nice and tight. On the outside, you're going to get some amount of lift, even on super healthy coats. So, following on from that, the next thing is going to be dead coats. It is, again, it's going to act like Velcro. It doesn't always remove cleanly from the skin or from the coat, especially in curly coats. It can get kind of trapped in those tangles. Trapped in those curls. And it needs to be removed by us manually brushing it out. This is going to be your number one reason why your dog groomer tells you to brush your dog at home. We do need to remove it. It can end up pretty problematic in areas of friction and compaction. So under collars and harnesses, and on like the bum and backs of legs from sitting and lying down. Okay, so this one sucks for my Scottish customers. Sorry about the burr banded. Wet coats. So if your dog isn't thoroughly brushed through very regularly, what's going to happen is these kind of light tangles when they get wet, and this can be just a small amount of moisture, by the way, like dew on grass. The fibres are going to act kind of like a wool jumper in a hot laundry machine. The fibres are initially going to swell, and that's going to allow them to catch other fibres, so other pieces of dog hair. They're all going to kind of catch onto each other, and then if you allow them to dry without brushing them again, they are just going to shrink right down and get tighter and tighter. And then the more you do this kind of repeated action, again, you're just going to let it swell up a little bit and then get tighter, and eventually it just becomes impossible and it gets right down to the skin. I'm very, very sorry to my Scottish clients who are currently getting drenched in this horrible Scottish weather. It sucks. It's not conducive of a cute fluffy coat. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the dirty dogs. I mentioned dirt, debris and dander earlier, and basically what's going to happen is this is going to build up. It is going to mix with the natural oils that your dog's skin produces and with water from the rocks, and it's going to kind of act like a binding agent. It can actually kind of hold these mats together. It can also make them really solid. Thankfully, this is a nice easy one to stay on top of, just regular bathing, either at home or in a groomer's. I recommend at least every 3 to 4 weeks to really stay on top of this one. So this last one is more of a fun fact, but I think it's really cool. Basically, lighter coloured coats, so think like your white dogs, your kind of creamy coloured dogs, their coat is actually going to be more prone to damage and breakage, and it's actually going to die off faster, so they are much more prone to matting. I'm going to do a whole video explaining the ins and outs of it, but yeah, that's kind of cool, right? Okay, so you might be wondering what is so bad about matting. Other than me having to shave your dog off, why should you care? Well, first of all, matting can hide quite a few things from us. I've found wounds, I've found fleas, what was the other one? infections, just loads of gross stuff can be kind of hiding under mats. Then it's also a great place for infections to grow. Under a mat is fantastic for bacteria or fungus to thrive. Then there's also the issue of tight mats kind of causing circulation issues. It can get to the extreme of actually causing like necrotic tissue damage. So tips of tails, tips of ears, whole legs can be at risk in particularly bad cases. Usually what you're going to find though is that it's just very uncomfortable for the dogs. Especially once we've shaved them off, they can kind of feel a bit weird if you've ever had your hair tied up too tight for too long, and you get that like weird kind of pins and needles in your head. Imagine that all over your body. Lastly, it just kind of sucks to move. If you imagine one of the most common places to find mats is actually in the armpits of the dogs. If you imagined that your armpit matted, and then every time you wanted to move, you had to rip your armpit hair out, it kind of sucks. It's not nice for the dogs, and it can really make them feel a bit rubbish. Yeah, definitely not a nice thing to have going on, and we want to stop it from happening as much as possible. So congratulations if you made it all the way through. I know that it's a lot of information, and it's probably not the most interesting if you're not a dog groomer. But congratulations if you made it through. I hope something and it helped. If it did, give it a like, and maybe subscribe, because I will be uploading a lot more dog talk content in the future. Thanks, bye.